Everyone knows the exact quote, the exact that I'm referring to if you've seen those pocket.
But let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up.
I mean, if they think coming off the streets is destroying yourself, man.
Tupac, he really had an issue with Jay-Z. He really didn't like him then.
Not at all.
Hey there, have you heard the latest buzz? Rumor has it that there might be more to the classic hip-hop beef between Tupac and Jay-Z than we thought. And get this, Kanye West, Jay-Z's former bestie, is supposedly spilling the tea on an alleged rift between Jay-Z and the notorious Biggie Smalls. Now, we all remember the good old days when Jay-Z and Biggie were tight, repping Bedford-Stuyvesant together and creating music that became iconic. It was even their camaraderie that supposedly sparked the infamous feud between Jay-Z and Tupac. But hold on, Kanye is reportedly challenging this narrative, claiming that Jay-Z didn't just have issues with Tupac, but also had some beef with Biggie. It's a jaw-dropping revelation if true, especially coming from Kanye, who's not known for mincing words. After all, he and Jay-Z used to be tight, so if anyone has the inside scoop, it's Kanye, right? The speculation is that Jay-Z might have wanted both Tupac and Biggie out of the picture for some undisclosed reasons. Can you believe it? The hip-hop history we thought we knew might be getting a remix. Now, the burning question is, what exactly is this alleged beef between Jay-Z and Biggie that Kanye is supposedly itching to spill? We promise it's a wild ride, so let's get into it. Now, the rumor mill just won't quit when it comes to Jay-Z, and the latest buzz is sending shockwaves. People are saying he might have had a hand in taking out his buddy Biggie Smalls, and all for his own gain. Now, I know it sounds like some wild conspiracy, but let's break it down. Think about it. Jay-Z sure did ride the wave of success after Biggie's tragic death, right? And it's not just the fans speculating on this. Even Cassidy spilled the tea in an interview, confirming that there might be some truth to the idea that Jay-Z benefited big time from Biggie's demise. The interviewer brings up Biggie and asks if he's still considered a top 10 rapper with just 2 albums. Cassidy fires back, defending Biggie's legacy, saying "Ready to Die" is a timeless classic that's never gonna go out of style. He goes on to explain how Biggie made a massive impact in a short time, leaving his mark on the game.
Disagree with that. Like, Ready to Die is a classic. It ain't never gonna be dated. Like, it's a classic. It's stamped. So I gotta disagree with you, but
Cassidy points out that there were other artists dropping more albums than Biggie did during that period, yet they still don't get the same level of recognition. It's like Biggie did something special in that short window, influencing tons of folks who came after him. Cassidy kept it real in that interview, going on about how Biggie's impact goes way beyond his own music. He's talking about how Biggie and Pac basically set the stage for a whole wave of artists that came after them. It's not just about their albums, it's about the ripples they caused in the industry. Cassidy breaks it down, saying Biggie and Pac weren't just making their own hits. They were inspiring a whole bunch of others to create classics. According to him, a ton of artists making good music today probably wouldn't have done it if they hadn't heard Biggie and Pac doing their thing back in the day. He throws Jay-Z into the mix, saying we wouldn't have the legend he is now without the influence of Biggie and Pac. Cassidy's basically saying these guys changed the game, not just with their own catalogs, but by inspiring a whole generation of artists to step up their game.
But how would Jay-Z have become Jay-Z that he is if it wasn't for for Pac and Big being out? You know what I'm saying?
It's like when Cassidy came in with those punchlines and everyone had to switch up their style. Same deal with Biggie and Pac. They made people change the way they looked at rap, and that shift had a lasting impact. So when you think about it, these dudes aren't just great for their own albums. They're the OGs who shook up the whole rap scene and left a legacy that still echoes today. The host throws a question at Cassidy, asking if Biggie and Pac kicking the bucket kinda paved the way for Jay-Z. And Cassidy hits back, saying nah, Jay was already in the game, especially with his killer debut album Reasonable Doubt. That's Cassidy's personal fave. But here's the twist. Cassidy thinks it was a business move. Big and Pac had everyone's attention, making it a tough road for Jay-Z to claim the title of the best in the game. It would have been a real challenge if Pac had stuck around, you know what I mean? Cassidy points out that there were other super talented artists in the mix, and with Big and Pac in the scene, it was a competitive battleground. Once Big and Pac were out of the picture, it was kinda like a clear path for Jay-Z and Nas to duke it out for the top spot. Cassidy spills the beans on how the rap game shifted gears after Biggie and Pac's departure. Jay-Z didn't have to go toe-to-toe with those heavyweights anymore, because Biggie and Pac were out of the picture.
But it's a business, and you know what I mean? Big and Pac had everybody's attention, so it was hard for him to become Jay-Z, like the best, the top, like You know what I mean? Nobody could with him. Like, it would have been difficult if they was around.
All right, let's hit the rewind button and go back to the origins of the beef between Tupac and Jay-Z, and of course when he was still on good terms with Biggie until he supposedly switched the flip. So back in the day, there were these rumors flying around that Jay-Z was kind of scared of Tupac, not because of his lyrical game, but because Tupac had this natural charisma, that it factor you can't teach. It's that magnetic quality, you know? Kanye West had it too. Both Tupac and Kanye weren't afraid to speak their minds and call out the music industry, unlike Jay-Z, who was more about the money moves like Diddy. So the beef between Jay-Z and Tupac sparked when Jay teamed up with Tupac's rival Biggie to throw shade at West Coast rappers. Jay and Biggie, both repping New York, became tight buddies in the early 90s. Their collaboration on Jay's track, Brooklyn's Finest, reportedly set things off with Tupac. Irv Gotti, who worked on Jay's debut album, even warned him about the tensions in the East Coast versus West Coast feud, advising against bringing Biggie on the track. Now, Tupac and Biggie were initially cool, but things got messy in '94 after Tupac got shot at the Quad Studios. Tupac thought Biggie and Diddy knew about the hit, but Biggie denied it. The tension between them skyrocketed and they started trading verbal blows in public. Just before Jay dropped Brooklyn's Finest, Biggie's Who Shot Ya hit the scene. Tupac took it as a diss aimed at him, cranking up the East Coast versus West Coast heat. Irv Gotti had reservations about Jay releasing the track, warning about the consequences. But Jay went ahead anyway. Biggie straight up called out Tupac, referring to him as his son and throwing shade about rumors with Faith Evans, Biggie's wife. Tupac fired back with diss tracks like Bomb First, My Second Reply, taking direct shots at Jay-Z. Everyone was expecting Jay to drop a counter diss, but the whole game changed just weeks later. Tupac got fatally shot in Las Vegas, leaving things hanging. Turns out Jay actually wrote a super intense diss track called Scathing, targeting Tupac. Now at first, Jay claimed he didn't want to release it out of respect for Tupac's family, who were still grieving, but guess what? He ended up performing the track live at the Apollo Theater after Tupac had already passed. DJ Clark Kent spilled the tea, saying Scathing had some seriously disrespectful lyrics aimed at Pac.
If you can find anybody who was at that show and Apollo was packed, they will tell you that it was absolutely crazy. The things he...
Now, why the heck would Jay-Z drop a diss track after Tupac's death? Well, some folks think it's because Jay might have felt a weight off his shoulders. The theory goes that Jay was kind of scared of Tupac, thinking he could never top him in the rap game. In fact, according to Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal, Jay was so freaked out by Tupac that he once refused to leave his Vegas hotel room when Pac and his crew were in town. Fans aren't buying it though, and they're calling Jay-Z a bit of a snake for not going head-to-head with Pac while he was still alive. Some old-school rappers from that era are spilling the beans, saying Jay had some deep-seated jealousy towards Tupac's charisma and style. Even Nas spilled the tea in an interview, claiming Jay seemed bitter about the success of Tupac, Biggie, and DMX. Apparently, Jay once bragged he was a better rapper than all of them. Alright, let's rewind a bit. Back in 2000, Nas spilled the beans about a party he went to thrown by Steve Stout. Jay-Z, still holding on to that competitive spirit, was apparently talking some serious smack. Nas recounted how Jay claimed he was better than Biggie, and went on to say that artists like DMX and Tupac only appealed to those starving on the street. Nas thought he was crazy for saying that, but it didn't stop there. Jay straight up said Tupac and DMX weren't lyricists. Nas wasn't having it and declared Tupac as the greatest ever, end of story. Now, why would Jay-Z be gunning for Biggie, especially when they used to be tight? Well, it's all wrapped up in the Diddy drama. Rumors are swirling that Diddy might have been the one who helped Jay-Z take out Biggie. The theory is, if Biggie was still around, Jay-Z wouldn't be sitting on his rap throne right now. But here's the twist in Jay's friendship saga. He cut ties with Kanye the moment Kanye started spilling the truth about the shady side of the music industry. Yet, Jay's still buddy-buddy with Diddy, even with allegations floating around about Diddy. Fans are calling Jay and Diddy out for using their money and power to shield themselves from any criticism. Now let's get into the scoop on how folks are saying Diddy might have played a role in helping Jay-Z take out Biggie. Lil Cease, Biggie's right-hand guy, just spilled the beans on the legend's death, and it's giving us serious chills. Picture this. They're in the car, and Lil Cease spills the details on a moment that makes us seriously side-eye Diddy. He spills about how, in a crucial moment, Diddy allegedly decides not to stop at a red light. Seems like a small detail, right? But hold up, this apparently innocent choice is getting real shady, throwing a whole lot of doubt on what went down that fateful night. Lil Cease's revelation has us questioning Diddy's intentions and adds a spooky layer to the whole mystery surrounding Biggie's untimely exit. It's like a real-life thriller unfolding, peeling back more layers here. earlier, there were whispers going around that Biggie was thinking of ditching Bad Boy Records. Now, if you throw that into the mix, it spices up the whole story, which brings us to the burning question. Did this decision to peace out stir something up in Diddy's head, making him think about doing the unimaginable?
We get out, Puff pull out first. We pull out behind him. He blow past the light. We stopped at the light. And before you know it, a car just rolled up, start popping in the car. Didn't say nothing, didn't yell nothing. Just pop, 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 pop. Everybody got down in the truck.
Diving deeper into this crazy story, another player steps up, making things even more twisted. Gene Deal, a former bodyguard of Diddy, spilled the tea and added a darker vibe to the whole Biggie saga. So in this interview, Deal starts questioning why Diddy called Biggie to LA. According to him, there's no legit reason for that call, making us wonder if it was all part of some shady plan. The idea that Diddy had Biggie venture into sketchy territory without a clear purpose adds a seriously creepy layer to the already mysterious story. But wait, it gets weirder. Deal noticed something fishy about the cars involved. He says they were covered in eye-catching stickers. And here's the thing, only the street team hired by Bad Boy Records had the chance to mess with those rides. Deal claims that this street team was in the perfect spot to slap on those suspicious stickers. And you may ask, what about Puff Daddy's car? Totally sticker-free. Now, if that doesn't amp up the suspicion, I don't know what does.
He had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Those cars was rented. So to put those stickers on there, you defacing the property. He said that this went and got his own deal. Look at the balls he had. He went and got his own record label, his own deal.
Adding more fuel to the fire, Deal spilled that he suggested beefing up security to prevent potential threats, but his advice apparently got brushed off. This just makes the whole mystery around Biggie's death even murkier. And get this, Deal straight up debunked the idea that Biggie got hit in a drive-by shooting. Nope, he's saying the car was already chilling there, challenging what we thought went down on that tragic night. In this interview, the bodyguard's not holding back, expressing his frustration with what he calls the lies being spread in documentaries and interviews. It just hurts because they lie too much, he said. A lot of that SHT be lies the way they put it together, because they listening to these white boys who wasn't even there. I don't want to make this racial, but they take these white boys who wasn't even there and want to use the stories that they want to tell, which is not the truth. Wasn't no drive-by, the car was standing there at the corner. The stories they tell is not truthful, and now people are sitting here believing. Deal added, every Biggie movie that you see, they say it's a drive-by. When the witness tells you the car was stood right there at the corner, the car was probably there all night. Deal recalls the details of the March 1997 night when bullets hit Biggie, and he had to be there for him. The ex-bodyguard, holding back tears, takes us back to that spring night after the Soul Train Awards show party, where the Bad Boy Records sensation met his fate. He says Biggie's death still haunts him. I saw this kid lose his life. This kid died while I was pulling him out of the car. I wouldn't put nobody in my shoes because I don't feel like they could handle it. He continued, if I didn't have God in my life, if I didn't have people praying for me, I don't know if I could have handled it. Before we left Andre Harrell's house, Puff told me I didn't have to go. Now, I went because I knew that somebody was going to die that night. Somebody was going to get shot. I did everything in my power to stop it from being Puff. And it wasn't Puff. He continued, the people that was bodyguarding Big didn't do everything in their power to stop it from being big. And that hurts me, even though it wasn't my principle. Every time you hear his music, every time you see one of these murals on the wall, now they got statues. It's gonna hurt until God takes me away from here. Things in the story get pretty intense, right? It's like we're hit with this dark twist, toying with the idea that Biggie's fate was set in stone long before that tragic moment. Here's the real head scratcher. Was Biggie set up to be a pawn in some big game played by the power players in the music business? You know, maybe even by Diddy and Jay-Z? Just throwing that out there.
They should have had better security. I asked them, let's hire some more security. They refused to hire more security.
Sadly, even with time ticking away, Biggie's mom, Valletta Evans, is still waiting for justice for her son, the only child she had. Speaking exclusively to EW while hyping up the Netflix documentary, she shared, Biggie and I have a story. As long as I have life, there's hope. I'll never give up. And I hope when I'm not in this world anymore, my friends and family will carry on the fight. There is always hope. In a chat with Daily Mail, Valletta pointed fingers at the LAPD for not cracking the case properly. She even went as far as saying she knows who did it. I have a very good idea who murdered Christopher, and I genuinely believe that the LAPD know exactly who did too. They've done their investigation, but they just refuse to move forward. I don't know why they haven't arrested who was involved. It seems to me that it's one giant conspiracy, and someone is definitely being protected somewhere down the line. Diddy maybe? But guys, it's not over yet. Hold on to your hats because the bombshells keep coming. Jaguar Wright, a soulful voice in the game, dropped a perspective that had the whole hip-hop community shook. In an interview, Jaguar Wright digs even deeper into the twists and turns of this crazy story. She's throwing out there that Biggie's death wasn't just some tragic accident. It might have been a calculated move that played into the hands of Diddy and Bad Boy Records. Wright straight up suggests that the downfall of the rap legend could have been a strategic move benefiting the big shots in the music business. She says Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet, he was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years, effing Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived. It supported all of Bad Boy. His catalog, clearly a Biggie's small verse is very valuable. She vents the commission what happened to that album. It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have come out that summer after Biggie's album because Biggie's album was slated. He died a week and a half before his album came out. Then The Commission was supposed to come out, and that was supposed to be his exit from Bad Boy N, then starting his own company. So tell me something. I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Mind blown, right?
Before when he died, it's been over 25 years. Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived.
So despite all the sketchy stuff swirling around Diddy, I'm talking lawsuits, accusations, and all that jazz, Jay-Z's still keeping him in his inner circle. But get this, Jay slammed the friendship door on Kanye for way less. Now pause for a sec and let that sink in. Kanye might have some controversial views, but he's not caught up in murder or grooming scandals. Diddy, though, he's been hit with all sorts of accusations, and lawsuits have been lining up at his doorstep. Yet Jay-Z doesn't seem bothered and keeps that bromance alive. Fans are throwing around some wild theories, connecting the dots between Jay, Diddy, and their laundry list of allegations. It's got people scratching their heads, especially considering Jay's history with some eyebrow-raising allegations, from the R. Kelly friendship to whispers about him having a hand in Aaliyah's passing. Now, Aaliyah was like Beyoncé's competition, much like Tupac and Biggie were to Jay-Z. Some folks are even spinning rumors that Jay might have played a role in Aaliyah's passing to boost Beyoncé to a higher status. Now, was this comparison game titled Aaliyah versus Beyoncé. Look at the names, Aaliyah, meaning the highest, most exalted one, versus Beyoncé, meaning one who is beyond others. It's like two queens vying for the throne, right? They were once friends, but here's where the Illuminati conspiracy kicks in. Aaliyah, the seasoned quadruple threat, paved the way for Beyoncé's stardom before tragically passing away. Aaliyah had dreams, modeling, singing, dancing, acting, even eyeing roles in The Matrix and Sparkle. Fast forward, and Beyoncé seems to be following Aaliyah's footsteps. So Aaliyah was gaining fans worldwide, but the Illuminati reportedly saw her as a green light and wanted her to join their ranks. However, she resisted, and as history suggests with figures like Michael Jackson and DMX, refusing the Illuminati can lead to a tarnished image and, ultimately, demise. Aaliyah began learning more about the Illuminati and Freemasons through her associations, realizing her life might be in danger. She even mentioned a dream in an interview weeks before her death, describing a dark dream where someone was after her, and suddenly she lifted off, feeling free and weightless. Some speculate this could symbolize death. In the weeks leading to her tragic plane crash, Aaliyah recorded an unfinished song called Time. The lyrics express a sentiment of not having enough time to do everything. Interestingly, Jay-Z released a remix of Aaliyah's I Miss You after her death, mentioning that she used to read Seat of the Soul, a book about opening one's third eye. Adding to the intrigue, right after shooting the More Than a Woman video, Aaliyah received a call to fly immediately to the Bahamas for the Rock the Boat video. The situation seemed oddly aligned with the theme of her unfinished song, Time, suggesting a mysterious connection. According to some theories, Aaliyah might have resisted joining the Illuminati, or wanted out of it, leading to her being replaced by someone who would adhere to their agenda, Beyoncé. This theory suggests that Aaliyah's unwillingness to comply or her desire to exit the Illuminati program could have led to her demise. The narrative draws parallels between the names Aaliyah, highest most exalted one, and Beyoncé, one who is beyond others, and implies that Jay-Z played a role in this alleged conspiracy. Also, Kanye West brought up Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce while discussing the influence of powerful entities over fellow celebrities, and even said that he can say whatever he wants and not go to jail. I can say whatever I want and not go to jail, Ye tells the camera. They can't control me, you get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq, they can control Charles Barkley, they can control LeBron James, they can control Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. It's up. Ye then brought up his deceased mother, claiming she was sacrificed before adding, I'm the P that never killed nobody. But that means I can say whatever I want. My mama ain't here. My mama was sacrificed. You can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these none of these people that have to listen to y'all. I never killed nobody. I'm the Pew that never killed nobody. But that means I can say whatever I want. He then goes on to mention Michael Jordan's father, insinuating that the basketball legend's dad was similarly sacrificed. Now, whether Kanye's claims hold any truth or if he's stirring the pot remains uncertain. This adds another layer to the complexities of the music industry, and as more stories emerge, it becomes increasingly disturbing.
It controlled LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up. None of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names. None of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
Man, there's a ton of rumors and gossip swirling around, right? But here's the real question. Will these rumors actually stick, especially when we're talking about someone as powerful and influential as Jay-Z? It's like, look at Diddy. Karma eventually caught up with him. Maybe it's just waiting at the tip of Jay-Z's garment. But hey, we're all in the speculation game here. What do you guys think of all this? Was Jay-Z really feeling threatened by Tupac and Biggie? Or is this just another wild theory making the rounds? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's keep this conversation going. Catch you in the next video.